I just made the coolest thing ever, and I want to show you guys how to make it. It's called the Impossible Table, floating table, but it's also known as the Tensegrity Table. Every bit of this is under tension, and I want to show you guys how to make it. It is so cool. It's strong. You can put anything on top of it, like that. You can put it by your bedside table. Some people have even made stools out of it. So I'll take you to my shop. I'll show you how to make this. Kind of a long video, but hang on through the whole thing. It's going to be cool because once you make one, you can make whatever you want after that. I consider this a very good beginner project. All right, let's go do this. All right, well, you guys got to see the anti-gravity table that I made for my daughter. I love this design. I love finding things on the internet and making them. And the best part is I love making them for you guys so you guys can see how to do it. It's something that anybody can do. I always say if I can do it, you can, okay? So this could be a beginner woodworking project. And not only is it like a beginner, but the final result is really awesome. So I will show you as we go along the tools you need and the parts instead of just saying, hey, you need all this stuff right here, okay? Very simple. First part, though, is you need a tabletop and a bottom. I went ahead and went to Lowe's and picked up a pre-made round like this, all sanded, looks nice. Could use a little bit more sanding. Tabletop, 15 inches wide. They do make some that are 12, and they do make some that are bigger if you want to make a bigger table, maybe like a coffee table or something like that. So get 2 of these. You're going to need a base and a top, okay? So first thing, I used only 3 chains to make mine. You can use 4 if you want. I wanted to go with the tri-chain look, okay? So first thing we gotta do is we gotta find the center of our board. We gotta lay out where we're gonna put our eye hooks. So follow along, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I went ahead and jumped to the point where I've already got my eye hooks in. I've got them exactly where I want. I will go back and show you how I came up with this, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to have to make 2 of these exactly the same, a base and a top, okay? So what we've got to do is we've got to make a cross on the round board in order to find our center. That way we can split it into 3 sections right here, 3 equal sections, 3 equal distances for the eye hooks. If you're going to go ahead and do 4 of them, then you don't have to do this part right here. You can just do this. What I did was I made my marks and then I came in 1 inch like this and did it. So if you want to go ahead and go with the 4 chains, what you can do is just do the cross right here that you have, go in 1 inch, mark it, inch, mark it, inch, mark it, pre-drill your hole, install your eye hook, okay? So here we go, follow along, I'll show you how we did it. Okay, we're gonna section this into 3 equal parts, okay? So easy, watch this, you're gonna just be amazed. Pick any spot on the board, on the edge, anywhere around the circle and make 1 dot right there. I did not make it around the curved end, I made it right here at the point where it starts to bevel. So make 1 spot right there, okay? Now watch this. You're gonna take your square, put the corner right there, and then you're gonna go in equal distance here and here, okay? So what I've got is I've got 11 here and I've got 10, a little under 10 here. So I'm gonna have to move this over like this to decrease this number and increase this one, okay? So we're gonna put the corner there. I've got 10 1/4 here, 10 1/4 there, all right? Mark it right there, mark it right there, because these are equal distances right there. Pull it off, you've got your marks. Don't worry about marking your board, we're going to sand them later. Now watch this. Take those 2 marks, go straight across. Look at that. Now, you're going to do the same down here. You're going to take these 2 marks, put that one there, right where they match at the tip here, right here at the corner. There's a mark. Watch this. Just like that. And guess what? You have now found the center. So here's the thing. What we need to do though is we've got to find this here. We've got to find this equal and this equal right here. So we have 3 equal lines. This will disappear, this will disappear, and this will disappear. So how do we find that equal spot right there? It's very simple. So what we got to do is we got to measure the radius right here. If we start right here on the edge and go to the center, we're at 7 1/4. So that is our radius for this. All we got to do is you pivot on this corner over just like this, and right where the 7 1/4 cross the edge, right there, 7 1/4, put this right here, 7 1/4, make your mark, little tiny mark right there. Do the same over here, right where it crosses, 7 1/4 crosses right here. Go back to the center, make a line to your mark. Do the same on this side, make a mark, and there you go. You now have 3 equal lines right there. And I want my eye hooks to go in 1 inch. So I'm going to go right here, 1 inch in. Same over here, 1 inch, and same over here on this one right here. If you are going to put 4 chains on instead of 3, then all you got to do is don't worry about these lines, just mark these right here and you're good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pre-drill 3 holes in order to get these eye hooks in here. Okay, now this right here, let me show you what we're going to do to make sure we don't go through the table. So this is the thickness of the table right here. And so if we go right here, you're going to see, look at that. We're not going to go through, okay? So we got to choose the right size bit. And what you want to do is when you pre-drill, of course, you're not going to make it too big. Otherwise, this is just going to go in and out and it won't grip the wood. But if you make it too small, then you're just twisting and turning and you can split wood and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is just enough for the body of whatever screw or bolt we're doing, enough for the threads to grab the wood. So this is the perfect size right here. It's all going to depend on how big of a hook you make. Now, the one thing is, there's nothing worse than drilling and you drill too far and you go through your tabletop, okay? That's where this comes in, the blue tape. So we're going to take a little blue tape. What we're going to do is we'll set it right there and we'll get the depth that we want and we'll put this on our drill bit. Look at that right there. Boom. That way when we drill to the blue tape and we stop. Here's our first mark right here on our line. We're going to set that right there and we're going to drill. Got to the blue part right there, to the blue tape, and we stop. Perfect. We're going to do that to all 3. Don't push too hard. If you push too hard, you'll push through on that wood. You'll hit like a little soft spot or something on this wood. You'll push right through. Here we go. Look at that. Perfect. Now, we're not going to put our eye hooks in just yet. We're going to give this a light sanding and get rid of these marks on here. And let's do that first. So I just got a little sanding block because that's all we need to do is just get rid of these lines. See the grain of the wood? We can go with the line on this one. Watch that. Comes right out. Look at that. Perfect. See, I told you not to worry about it. But with these, we're not going to go against the grain. So we're going to need to go with the grain like that. And we're just going to get rid of these lines real quick. Yes, you can use an eraser if you want. but it does not hurt to give this block of wood a little more sanding. Make it nice and smooth. Because I'm going to end up staining this thing. And putting some polyurethane on it to give it a nice, smooth look. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the other one too. And I'll be right back with you. Okay, got it sanded. What I'm going to do is put these in. I'll put in the description the size that I used, but you guys can use whatever size you want. You might want to go bigger, or might want to go smaller. Now, it's twisting by hand. I love it. That's perfect. I'm going to go down until I get the threads to disappear. Towards the end, when they get a lot of friction, you might need to use a wrench. And also, where you stop is important. I'm going to turn mine to where they face to the middle of the circle here, to the middle of the table. And that's perfect. That's the depth I want right there, if you guys can see that. So I'm going to put the other two in real quick. Before I move any further along on this project, I'm going to give it a stain. I went ahead and went with a stain and a poly together, pecan. Not too light, not too dark. A lot of people brush on their stain. I love rubbing it on like that. So that's what I'm going to do. Get it all on there. Look at that. Oh, it's going to look beautiful. I usually just do one coat when I rub it on. Watch this, see? You can just go back and forth with the grain. And when you rub it on like that, you don't have to worry about rubbing it off. Okay, I'm going to get these two pieces covered, and then we will come back and get to the cool part. Okay, what I like to do is, instead of making it in front of you right away, I want to show you what the end product for one half is supposed to be, so that when we're making it, you've already got it in your mind and the vision of what it's going to be like. So you have to make two exact pieces. This is what it's going to look like right here. If you remember, we got done staining, we got done putting the 3 eye hooks in. So now we got to put our base in, we got to find our calculations, and this right here is the magic behind it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you step by step how we get to this point. Okay, so this is what we're going to do to put our plate on that holds our rod, which is what holds the support and the weight of our floating bench. So this is how I did mine. You guys might want to place yours differently some other way, but this is what I bought. I love this. I actually got it from Lowe's, and this is how it comes. So instead of having pipe thread, you have this right here, and this right here uses an Allen wrench to tighten around it. So basically what I want to do is put this in here like this, and I'm going to set it against that. So that is my distance from the edge, but I've got to find the middle. So I put this here, this corner here, and I put this mark right here where it's 11 inches. So 11 divided by 2 is 5.5, right there. So we're going to set that right there. And we need to get it right in the middle. So what I'm going to do is put this against the eye here, because we know that's the line. I'm just going to put a slight small, see this mark right here, the one I made? Do a slight little line right there. That can erase off later. I'm going to eyeball this right here, put it in the middle, down the middle of this right here, and that's where that's going to go, okay? Make sure the tightening nut is to the side. That way you can always get to it very easy. Need to pre-drill the holes, so I got 4 holes. I'm going to mark the center of each one. Right there. Like that. There's our holes. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. Look at that, it comes right off. Get rid of that. All right, what we're gonna do is pre-drill. I will use the same bit that I used earlier when we did the eye hooks. It's already still got the tape on it. It's the perfect width. Put it right in the middle. Don't push too hard. Pull it up. The great thing is you don't have to go as deep. There we go. I love these wood bits. They have that little point on them. You can just set it right on the wood and it's not even going to move like that. There you go. Now what we're going to do, what I did was I used number 12 1-inch screws. Even though the board's 1 inch, it's not going to go all the way through because it's going to be spaced with our bracket there. So when I do this, I don't put them down all the way. I just get all 4 started like this. By the time you get to this point, you are going to be feeling so excited because it is really starting to come together. Now, if you use an impact, stop immediately when you get to the edge. Just like that. Now that we've got our base on, what we've got to do is figure out our height here. We want this table to be 24 inches tall, 23 inches tall, around that area. That's as tall as my daughter's bed is, so that way the table's the same height. So it's not like you can cut this in half and say, hey, each side is going to be 12 inches from top to bottom. Because when this is hanging, as you can see from the very first video that we did, this bar has to go up and over because there's going to be a chain right here that's going to hold it. Don't worry about these chains on the side yet, okay? So what I did was I made this to where we'd have about 6 inches right here of chain. This bolt that I drilled through, and I'll show you how we drill it, is loose because we're going to tighten it later, okay? So let's go ahead and figure out our measurements here. This measurement here I already did at 6 inches because I knew exactly what I needed it to be, okay? Follow along. Okay, so what I did was I calculated that I need to have it at 14 inches on the long part. So we're going to make a mark there, cut it. On the other end, I marked 6 inches. That's for the horizontal part. I'm going to cut that one too. So here we go. Cap that's going to go on the horizontal part. We need to drill a hole for one of our eye hooks that's going to be bolted in. If we drill it and it's right in this location right here, you're not going to be able to insert the bolt. So this is one mark right here. This is the end of it. And what we've got to do is put a hole right on the edge over here. I just kind of eyeballed it about 1/2 inch or so. And we'll drill that. I'm going to start with a small drill bit, and then I'll use a bigger one, enough for our bolt to get through. I'll show you that. These drill bits right here are very small, so you don't put a lot of pressure, just enough for the bolt to get through. And here we go. There we are. So here's our eye bolt right here with our nut. Best way to do this, put it on your fingertip like this and just stick it in there, slide it down until you can see it through the hole there, and just start tightening it. And there you go. And we're not going to tighten it all the way. Get it to where it's about halfway through the tube. There we go. All right, so what we're gonna do is put these together. This is the 6-inch, this is the 14-inch. Put it right down the middle. Use an Allen wrench to give it tight. Look at that. There we go. I've tightened the other ones already. Ah, they're ready to go. So, here we are. One is going to be the bottom and one's going to be the top. Okay, so basically when we measure it, we want this to hang right over the middle right here, okay? And we have two exactly the same. This is going to be the base, this is going to be the top. And if you see these eye hooks, they're going to hang over each other. And that's what makes it so cool, is this is going to be at an angle and it's going to be just like that. So what we got to do is we got to find the height to this, and we're going to measure those chains. So we want it 24 inches, but each piece of wood is 1 inch thick. This is another inch, 2 of those, so 4 inches minus 24, so we're going to make each chain 20 inches long. We'll connect them. Watch this. Okay, so I need 3 equal chains. So I marked them out 20 inches, the first one. What I'm going to do here is put this right, pair of pliers right there. Take my needle nose. I'm going to open this part and then take this chain off. So now I've got 3 equal chains. They're all 20 inches long. I do need to go down to the other ends over here. And I've got to open these up too so we can get them around the eye hooks. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do all that. And I'll show you what we do after that. Okay, so we're going to slip that over right there. Just take your needle nose and get it to where it won't come off. And that's it, we're going to do it on all 3. Okay, what we're going to do now is attach the top of the rings together like this. I didn't open this one up enough. Boom. Use a needle nose to close it up. There we go. Just like that. Check all of them. Now these chains are going to be loose until we get that middle chain on. So don't worry. It's coming along just fine. Okay, this is seriously the hardest part of the whole thing. A lot of times people do a reveal and they twist it and they push it up. The chains I got are only 15-pound chains, which is plenty strong for what this chair is going to be used for, or this stool is going to be used for. But what I'm going to do is put this last chain on. I got it measured just right. Now these bolts in here are adjustable, so that's why we did it. We can adjust the up and down there. And I'll get this put together real quick and I'll show you guys how I did it. So we got all our chains together and they're tight. Look at this thing. It is so awesome. You can put, look, it looks like the support is on the chains. Now, here's the key. If one of these is loose, like this, okay, don't tighten this one. You're going to, you've got another room, you've got some room over here. Just give it a little bit of a twist right there. Boom. And you do that until your top's level. Now, it's really hard to get these types of tables completely level on top, okay? So, just do that. A little bit of this. Get it really tight. Not too tight, though. Ah, I love it. Okay, so now we're going to put the caps in. Little tap with the hammer. And we've got ourselves a table. Awesome.